Hey boys and girls, it's Mrs. Jakowski. I'm sorry I can't be here with you today, but I wanted to get you started on your research project. Last week you picked your really awesome book that you decided to do your research project on. Most of you picked animals, and that's wonderful. Today you're actually going to start on the planet part of the Plan, Do, Review research project. So you're going to need to do some writing. And if I were you, this would be the time that I would take a little bit of extra time to work on so you're ready to do all of your major research next week. To start with, you're going to need to write your name right here at the top where it says Blanks Research Project. Second, you're going to read the next sentence, which says, my task is to find and share information about. On this line right here, you're going to write what your project is going to be about. Remember, I started with golden doodles, so right here I would write the word golden doodles. To do a good job, I will need to probably talk to an expert. I'll need to do my research, make sure I take time to read my research, and come up with a great project. Before I do my task, I need to find out, before I do my project, I need to find out, well, probably all about golden doodles, mostly about their diet, perhaps about their habits or how they act. So those would be the things that I would put right here. Your next section is your research project plan. So you're going to need to decide how you're going to share your research learning. So the product you're going to make, it could be any kind of project that you want to create. You could do pictures or photos. You could use Chatterpix or Telegami. There's so many different apps that you can use to share your learning. Now, let's say I chose to use a picture of Georgia, and I wanted to use a Chatterpix of her. So I would write Chatterpix of Georgia right here on this line. Then you go to the next section that says, circle the things that you'll need to make your product. Well, I'd need a picture or a photo of Georgia. I definitely need to use the iPad because it is an iPad app. I wouldn't need to use the flip camera or video camera, but I would need facts about golden doodles. I would need notes about the things that I learned about. And I think I would need a script so I can have and know exactly what to say in that short amount of time for my Chatterpix. I don't think I'd need art materials or a computer. I don't think I need a person to film me. But if I needed anything else, I could write it down here where it says other. Lastly, I think I will need a teacher's help with the technology I plan to use. Now, I need you to think, is this something you can do on your own for your project, or are you going to need my help when it comes time to make your project? You need to decide on that right now. If you're not sure, go ahead and circle yes. That way I can get prepared and ready to go. Your next section is your planet. Now, the planet is a really big deal because today this is where you're going to put all the questions you have about your topic. So step one, planet. My topic is, again, since I'm doing golden doodles, I'm going to write the word golden doodles right here. You, however, are going to write whatever your topic is. The next line says, I chose to research this topic because, well, at my house, I've never had a golden doodle. So I chose to research this topic because I really want to know more about them. Maybe you have a similar thought, or maybe there's another reason. But you're going to write your idea of why you chose to do this topic right here on these two lines. Make sure you have a lovely sentence and not just one word, because it makes it really hard later on. Now, the next line is where it gets a little bit different. Some questions I want to find the answers to are, you have this page and another place to write all of these questions on. That, I would love for you to have about 10 good questions that you are wondering about when your topic is concerned. For example, I wonder why Georgia barks so much. My other golden retrievers don't really bark a whole lot. And you know what? Georgia doesn't shed, so I want to know why she doesn't shed, and Jasper does. I also want to know why she eats like a little piggy. She eats more food than any other dog I know. Maybe poodles need a little bit more. There's a lot of questions that I want to find the answers to. And this is where you would write all of those down. Now, if you have trouble coming up with your questions, I would sit there and look through maybe the book that you got last week on your topic. Maybe it would give you some insight, or you could also ask a friend another question. Perhaps you can read them your questions and come up with another idea, or they could help you come up with an idea. But mostly, these need to be done on your own. Boys and girls, I would love it for you to have about 10 great questions on your paper so that next week when you come back to library, you are ready to start your research. This is a really big, important part of your research, is coming up with the questions you want to look for. And so make sure you're taking the time to do this. When you're finished, make sure your research planet gets into the inside of your book, and make sure that it gets back onto the shelf that's labeled Dodd. If it doesn't get there, we might not be able to find it next week when you need it to do your research. So make sure that is done correctly. Boys and girls, have a great day today. Work very hard for Mr. Holtzapfel and do your personal best. I can't wait to see you next time. Have a good one.